Welcome, Shady peeps, to another episode of the Shady Corner Lewdcast. Today, we are interviewing Vex Ruby, an adult streamer and part of Viro Playspace. She started doing mocap lewd stuff over 5 years ago, but only in the last year or so recently started going into live streams, developing with the team Viro that they're working on making a system for Lewdtubers where they can take their sex shows to the next level. Vex, how are you doing today?
Doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to see you excited and energetic to have a chat with me.
Thank you.
Tell me first how you got into doing lewd stuff, because obviously that's kind of like the groundwork for obviously to getting to where you are today. So were you doing lewd content before you started doing Lewdtubing?
Yes, there was the content mostly with Viro Playspace. In fact, if we can pan the camera over here. So all of these posters up here on my wall are all of experiences with Viro Playspace that a lot of them I did the motion capture, not all of them. Like with my lovely friend here, Ella Darling, that she came in here and did the mocap herself for her experience. But like with the waterfall one over there, and the nurse and the succubus, I did the motion capture for that. And boy, has there been some adventures with that. I think one of my favorite stories with that was the very first experience we captured. We actually had me go down to a gas station and get a full-size pickle to do the sound effects with, right?
Wow, okay.
So actually, when you listen to that, it's me deep-throating a pickle. But the even funnier part of that is I had no idea about the term Foley. I had no idea what that meant. So for a good 2 or 3 years, whenever the dev team would refer to pickle Foley as a joke, I literally thought that was short for pickle fellatio.
That is amazing.
I know.
So you're saying that you were doing, you were basically doing sort of mocap stuff for the team to start off with. Does that mean that you were doing sort of like a video production before you were actually doing live streaming?
Yes. So all of the Viro experiences are pre-recorded. There wasn't any live shows at that point. It wasn't until, oh gosh, March of last year was my last show. We did a big cameraversary bash this year, and it was so much fun.
So how did you end up being with Viro?
I was a huge fan of a lot of work that the devs had done before, and I was familiar with that. And so when they were looking to cast people to do the more lewd stuff, once they started getting into that, I was like, yo, hey, I'm in your area, sign me up, yo. I've always been very, very open and a very sex positive, so to speak. Even before I became a part of the Viro team, I was on the board of an organization here in my neck of the woods that advocated for sex and gender minority rights. So I have absolutely no problem being part of a team that spreads the message of sex positivity, consent, and just being comfortable with yourself and in your skin.
That's so fantastic to hear, because I'll be honest with you, it's nice to hear more people are pushing sex positivity, especially in the current digital space.
Absolutely.
So you say you've got someone on the console and logistics tonight. What does that entail? Like, because obviously they're operating the camera. What else do they do?
Oh boy. So normally during the streams, there is 2 people in the room with me. There's the dev god and there's dev goddess. Dev god generally operates the controls like changing my outfits and activating different things in the room. Like, for example, I'll be brief with this guy because I don't want. Oh, he's in he's in censor mode, so we're good.
Yep.
We actually came up with this guy when having him on totally does not rhyme with dick cock. Got me in trouble, and we did that to make fun of it. But yeah, so this guy, he can turn into a lightsaber, he can turn into a flogger, he can turn into a daikon. It's that kind of thing that, like, I'm in full motion capture. I can't go and like reach over to a computer or to the touchpad and do all those things. So it's very much kind of a collaborative performance with me and the devs, because they're taking my cues as I'm sitting there and talking of, oh, like maybe switch to this different outfit or switch to this different scene or do this with Biggest.
Okay.
It's kind of a constant banter during the stream, and that's what makes it a lot of fun.
So are you basically so basically you've got the devs in there sitting there in the room with you, and you're obviously directing the scene. It's basically just like a standard sex show, correct?
They don't like physically interact with me a lot. Dev Goddess does. There is a goal in my room where we have a spanking goal, for example, where they take Biggest here and hand my booty to me. and yes, there have been a couple of times where fun things have happened on stream with the devs. But that's kind of a surprise when that happens. That's not a typical part of the show.
Okay. So the fact that you've got these other, I mean, that's just so fascinating to know that you've got other people helping operate the system while you're working. Do you find that, obviously you were saying before about sex positivity, do you also find that, especially when you were first starting out, that was it a little bit intimidating a bit because you're having to perform in a room with other people?
With these particular folks that are in the room with me most of the time, we had such a good rapport beforehand that I felt so safe with them. And a lot of what was done with the pre-recorded experiences was also like basically not faked. So like, for example, with the waterfall experience, yeah, we had to improvise with the sound effects, but I actually was going down on someone in motion capture when we did that.
See, and that's good because you're giving that, I guess, what it would be, that extra bit of realism. Because especially when I see a lot of people doing cam shows and such like that, you want that level of realism, obviously.
Well, I mean, particularly with mocapping oral sex, like having that head pivot just right, it's always so obvious if something's just being mimed, essentially. So it pretty much...
Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
It basically has to be the real thing, or it doesn't look right.
No. So with the equipment you've got on, like, so what is the equipment that you're currently wearing in order to make all this happen?
So basically the way it works is I have an Optic Suit, and you see all of these markers here?
Yep.
They're basically exactly where they are on my actual body. With the upgrade that we just got, there are a total of, I believe, 55 markers on me right now. And then all of the cameras, there are 12 of them in this room here. They all emit infrared rays.
Okay.
And the infrared rays pick up these trackers that I have on my body. And then they go to Unity, which is what I was created in. And that's how you see all this move along with me.
Holy shit.
And then my face rig was actually custom made. That's one of the things we've been talking about with Lewdtubers and wanting to offer a lot of what we use to them.
Hmm.
We have this super cool setup that I use, and we want everybody else to have access to it.
So with the setup, would you be offering the space, or would there be a way for people to have this sort of setup within their area or their home themselves?
Yes, it would be in their own homes.
Okay. Okay. So you were saying before that your face is custom modeled. How did you come up with the design of your character?
It was so fun to be able to collab with the character modeler dev. There's actually a lot of little bits and pieces that I got to choose. For example, like with the heterochromia, I absolutely loved a anime called Rosen Maiden.
Hmm.
And two of the characters, Sosei Seki and Suisei Seki, had different colored eyes. And I always thought it was so pretty, so I had to have it. I'm also a huge fan of the Persona series. And my favorite character from Persona 5 is Futaba Sakura. So my glasses and the boots on my default outfit are modeled directly after hers. Oh,
Wow.
and one of my favorite features. Oh, it's in sensor mode. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the tattoos, but I have some pretty spiffy tattoos. One of them is a infinity heart that goes all down my back, which is a symbol of me being openly polyamorous.
Hmm.
Oh, and my earrings too. I have infinity hearts on my ears. Hold up.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then with my hair being the colors it is, the blue and the purple and the pink, those are the colors of the bi-pride flag. So that's why I chose those colors.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's so crazy seeing how fluid you move around as well. That and the fact that the obviously the the mocap suit that you've got on. Do you have anything on your face that you're using as well?
It's just the helmet
Just
that
the
we
helmet.
have specifically. Yeah.
Okay. Do you find that the helmet itself sometimes can be a little bit have a little bit of weight to it? Obviously, when you're performing.
This has gone through so many different like redesigns specifically for that reason.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. So the very first one that I had when we were just streaming about a year and a half ago, I have a tiny little head. And so we actually got a kid's bike helmet that had a Paw Patrol character on it. And we just MacGyvered that shit. And it worked, kind of.
Hmm.
However, yeah, that ended up being very, very weighty and actually did cause a little bit of neck strain. But the dev team, they always look out for me. They're really looking out for the comfort of the performers when they're
Oh,
using these things. And so they eventually just kind of tweaked this and that through each of these different iterations of the helmet to where we got it where it is right now. And it's actually pretty comfy.
it's it's honestly so awesome seeing the way that you can move around. Speaking of which, can you give me a tour of the room that you're currently in?
I would love to. Oh my gosh. So, the chair here, I actually got a real live version of this in the office
Hmm.
as a camiversary present.
Oh wow.
So I have a real version of that chair. And then over here, we have my Nintendo game system. And we have the top scores of my tippers on there.
Oh, that's so
hee
cool.
hee. And then my little books there. Character modeler Dev Goddess who made this room absolutely loves cats as much as I do, so it was very suiting that she would put those two books there. And then over there we have, of course, the Viro experiences, and I love my fan art. Every time somebody actually takes time out of their day to make fan art of me, I'm so grateful for it. So it is permanently put up on my room.
Oh.
Oh, and we have a couple of little friends around here. Let's see. Oh, yes. So this is, oh, yes. That is David Hasselhoff and Bun Affleck. And I've decided that Bun Affleck is the bottom and David Hasselhoff is the top there. And then, oh, where's Barry Potter? Is Barry Potter still in this room? No, he's not. But we will show you Barry Potter later. And this was another present that I got, that big old planet.
Wow.
Out there. We didn't take the time to name it. We weren't very creative. We just say it's Uranus. Oh, wait, maybe we can show you. Where is he? Oh, yes, Barry Potter.
Oh, nice.
That was named by a fan a long time ago. We love to have punny names around here. All of my toys have pun names, too. For example, since my Nora, my Lovense toy, is super duper loud and sounds like a freaking Vitamix, we called it Blunder Dick Come and Snatch.
Oh my god, that's great. Oh, brilliant. I just saw you've got more than one room. You obviously perform in different rooms for different cam shows, or how does that work?
We kind of start off in one room, and if the mood kind of calls for it, we'll change to different rooms. But like, yeah, we have that space station. Ooh. Oh yes, the pirate ship. It was just Talk Like a Pirate Day a couple of days ago, so me and my good friend Jenny Starveling did a little collab stream here on my pirate ship.
That's so cool.
Oh, this one even has a night mode where you can like have the storm a brewing.
That's so awesome. So
we say that there's lube in those barrels.
So I noticed too, you've obviously got some more costumes. Like what are some of your costumes that you have, and which ones are your favorite that you like wearing?
Oh, I love the pirate outfit for one. Hold on just a sec. Let's show that bad boy off. Oh, okay. Dev is saying that we have to be careful about switching outfits, lest it show boobies on the YouTubes.
Oh, I mean, if any case, I can censor it up to that point. I don't mind doing that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wow,
so yeah,
that's so cool.
Taylor Dev Goddess is absolutely amazing at what she does. This is one of my favorites.
Wow.
And this is my default outfit that I started off with. Oh, almost. This is my default outfit plus a pistol and a hat. This happens on stream a lot, and I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm cosplay Chimera today. Then we got this kind of just like corset outfit here. Ooh. And I have a super spiffy Miku cosplay. That one's one of my favorites, too.
Okay.
Oh, really, Dev God? Really? And yes, we have a Slave Leia cosplay and the whole Chewie bit and the Mando helmet. That was for May the 4th. We are big on celebrating May the 4th on stream. But yes,
so
here's
cool.
my Miku costume. And I have my kitty ears. And we can do like different colors with the kitty ears too. It's pretty spiffy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. And I love the effect of the clothes coming on and off. Oh, see now you're talking to my inner gamer. Okay, come on. That's so cool. I love the transition of clothing. I love that it's just not instantaneous, but there's sort of like a white phase as it goes over from one to the other. It's really cool.
Ooh, one last outfit we should totally show them. My power level. It's over 9,000. Kamehameha.
That's so cool. So, I was going to say, like, Lewdtubers are coming up in the ranks now against VTubers. How are you finding that Lewdtuber scene?
I absolutely love it. One of the most awesome communities. We all help each other out. There's no like catty competition nonsense. We want to see this particular style of performance get really put on the map. And one person's success in that is everyone's success in that, as far as I'm concerned.
I noticed too that Chatterbait's still yet to have a virtual tuber category. Do you hope that more websites will eventually get this sort of category, so you'll be able to do this as like an official category that people can search?
If not, we here at Viro Playspace have some plans surrounding that.
Okay. Well, that'd be very good, because I know there's a lot of Lewdtubers that I've spoken to that have been jumping through hoops as of recent.
I know.
Trying to find places to stream, and the logistics of it all is just absolutely nuts. So that is so awesome that you and the team are working on something for the future. That's so cool.
Yeah, and in fact, by the end of this month, we're trying to launch that. So, woot, hype, hype.
You were saying before you recently did a collab with Jenny, and you also did a collab with Emmy, I do believe.
I sure did. Oh my gosh, such a good time with both of them.
So how does that work in terms of a collab? Like what goes into that particular situation of setting it up? Because are they using the same software as you? How does everything connect? Do you know where you're standing in a particular space? Like, just give me a little bit of a rundown.
So DevGod handles most of that. Basically, we just do a split screen on Discord and have them call us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't have anybody that's like actually in the same physical space as us.
Yep.
When I do collab streams with, oh, where is she? There she is. Our kind of co-representative Viro's over here. Mm-hmm. She is in the same physical space as me.
Okay.
So that's a little bit different. But most of the time when I do collab screens, they just kind of do their thing and we do a split screen on Discord so they can both be seen.
Okay. Is there a particular dream collab that you would like to do?
Oh, wow. I would absolutely love to do a collab with two of my good friends. I would like to do a collab with Raven Noir. Mm-hmm. She does both IRL stuff and streams as an avatar, and she is just the biggest sweetheart ever. And I also hope that one day we get Virtual Ella up.
Okay.
And I can do a stream with her. I call her my fairy porn mother because she has been absolutely amazing as a mentor to me. She was actually the very, very first person to do a cam show in VR. She actually developed a specific way of doing that and had licenses to the software that she did with a campsite. So she has been a irreplaceable resource, both with the camming and with learning how to do VR porn. Because it's such a huge difference between like more traditional and having the added layer of the VR. Like, for example, pretty much everything you're going to be doing with VR porn, unless it's more like POV style, mm-hmm. and you're interacting directly with the viewer or the player or what have you, I learned from her that it has to be that way or it's going to be very, very awkward and very alienating, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get what you mean.
Like, if you're just in VR sitting back and, like, watching two other people go at it, that's kind of creates a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be more like POV
It's about
style.
the interactivity.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely.
Okay.
And I am huge on that with my stream. Like, I love just going up to the camera and being like, Give me the boop your nose.
I noticed too, like on your website, you even have, because obviously you're using the Lewdtubing toys, you even have toys that fans can interact with to you.
Yes, Touchback. Yes, we
Okay.
love Touchback.
So tell me about
So
that.
what? Absolutely. So basically, what that is we have a system rigged up to where when my toys are going off, specifically my Love and Slush,
Mhm.
if someone has a toy hooked up to Touchback, like say they have a Max or a Fleshlight launch or any sort of Bluetooth enabled toy that is on the Viro website as being compatible with Touchback,
Mhm.
they can feel that along with me.
Wow. Okay, so basically, you can take as many people along for the ride as you can.
Yes, and that does add that whole extra layer of interactivity. I love it when people give me feedback and say like, "Oh, hey, it would feel really nice if you went a little faster or slower or
Mhm.
harder." Not gonna lie, it's kind of a turn on.
Do you, so in terms of this space, because you're obviously wanting to give this to open this up to other Lewdtubers, what kind of
Absolutely.
resources will they be able to get out of this? Will they be able to build their own models, their own rooms? What's the idea of the software in their eyes?
Pretty much everything listed. We're working on people being able to port their avatars. We're working on these specific facial setups that will be available to them. Basically, we're just kind of cobbling it together so they can have a lot more available to them.
Yeah, so basically, you want to try to cover all the bases of different types of Lewdtubers with different types of technology that each one has.
Absolutely, and also kind of give that centralized space that we were talking about earlier, because I'm sure even I don't know about all of the Lewdtubers that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's giving people that specific space to find people if
Mm-hmm.
you're interested in this whole niche and performance. So you're not like digging through pages upon pages of like IRL performers.
No, that's. I mean, it's funny because when I started interviewing Lewdtubers, it was kind of like a snowball effect where I just started collecting them, and I'm like, holy shit! There's like, I thought there was like only like 5 or 6. There's like 20, then
Oh
there's
no.
30, then there's 50, and I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit! Like, this is huge.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see it get even bigger. I cannot wait for the day where I don't have anybody coming into my stream going, huh? What's this? Is this like pre-recorded or something? Why am I watching a cartoon? What's going on here? I think it would be super cool if it's just another way people can express themselves on cam. It just becomes normalized.
And I guess it gives that for certain people, they're able to. I don't know if necessarily hide their identity, but make themselves feel a little bit safer in what they do.
Precisely. I have talked to other Lewdtubers who have made the decision to go this route because they've been doxxed
Mm-hmm.
through doing IRL stuff. And besides, like, there's a lot of things that perhaps I wouldn't talk about on stream if I had to show my actual face specifically for safety's sake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and yeah, that is, I guess, kind of a sign of a whole nother problem of, like, for example, occupational discrimination against sex workers.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good option to protect against things like that.
Okay. So one of the things I wanted to bring up actually, because I'm a game dev. I've been working on a bunch of lewd games for the past few years now. We've launched last year Shady Lewdcast, which is one of the biggest hentai character collabs of the porn space. So basically,
Oh
it's
my gosh, that sounds like so much fun.
it's basically Mario Kart porn, and you can every character from everywhere that you can think of, any other game or hentai you've watched, they're all in one game. The one thing that we're working on at the moment is giving Lewdtubers feedback to the games. So if you are power sliding, or if somebody's hitting you with a weapon, or if you're driving and you feel the accelerator, the toy will react to your motion in game. That face says it all.
Wow. Well, I might know a guy.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was gonna say, like, if you are interested in being a tester at one point, we will be looking for a bunch of people, because we want to bring all of our games up to the level where people can interact with them on stream, especially with LMFT toys being able. And we're I don't know if we're going to do it, but we wanted it to be that, say, chat members could obviously tip, and then say an item will drop in the game while they're playing, and then that will obviously vibrate the person, and it will like set their toy off. And we're kind of working on those sort of things at the moment, but we're not entirely too sure. Like we're getting there with what we think is going to be the groundwork.
Nice. Oh my gosh. And so with the touchback system that we've got, it's not just LMFT toys.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hook up Kiro.
Oh, okay.
We have, I think, WeVibe toys as well. There's a whole list of toys that we have that are compatible with touchback on our website.
Oh.
So there's a lot of variety there. So woo.
Oh, fantastic. I'll have to definitely have a look.
Yes.
Because yeah, we've been developing. We're trying to go the route of making games that are specifically more fun to play on stream, that are sexy, not necessarily just say a visual novel that you read and you just go through, but a game that is interactive and fun for the streamer themselves, but then also gives them that force feedback where they're kind of like, wow, the game's not only challenging in that, but I'm literally nutting to a cart game.
I love it. I love it.
That's what we're hoping is. So yeah, it'll be really interesting, because one of the modes that we have just finished working on is called No Nut Mode, and what it is you drive the girls around in the go-karts, and you have to edge them as you are driving the carts around, and so you've got to make sure that you don't make them come before you get to the end of the track, because you don't want to come before them. So you've got to make sure that to keep that score up, you've got to sort of drive that line without like skidding too much, and obviously while in the background the girl is moaning while you're driving, so it's quite distracting. So yeah, I'm
known for my orgasm control on stream, so that sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. So that definitely sounds like a challenge then.
Yes. I love it.
So I noticed that you stream on Chatterbait, and you're also streaming on a website called Cam4.
Yes.
Which of those do you prefer to stream on?
They both have their merits. And part of the reason that we have teamed up with Cam4 and we're wanting to go on their platform as well is we really, really, really want to open this up to more places and more people. A lot of the Lewdtubers are all on Chatterbait because they know that that's a place where they can kind of go and not get banned.
Mm-hmm.
Because Chatterbait has that whole infrastructure for Lewdtubers. We do have personal connections with Cam4, which is why I was able to start off on there. But we're hoping that they eventually are able to create that infrastructure to where it's easy for any Lewdtuber to just pop in on there. Because that's mostly what people are afraid of as far as going with other websites, is they're afraid that that infrastructure is not there like it is on Chatterbait. And they're going to end up being assumed to be like pre-recorded or violating some sort of terms of service. I mean, I already get those messages all the time from people who don't know what they're talking about, or who are just salty and don't like Lewdtubers.
No, I can completely understand that. Speaking of obviously a bit of controversy, the recent shakeup with OnlyFans, did you feel a bit more? Do you feel a bit more secure now doing not safe for work content on OnlyFans now, or do you still feel that it's a bit of an unknown territory, especially with payment companies?
Well, I wasn't personally financially affected by that a lot because I mostly use OF as another marketing platform. That's not my main source of income. I was definitely a little bit shaken by that because I know so many people who are dependent on that. And I mean, I could get up on my soapbox about fairness towards sex workers and the whole social stigma, but
obviously your streams for using toys to interact with viewers via tips and gameplay. Do you find it tough to make it through some sessions, and can your chat be mean to you in a good way?
Mean to me in a good way. So like what we on my stream would call cummy trolling?
Yeah.
Oh, that just makes it all the more entertaining for me.
So when you are not streaming and when you are not, well, I mean, I guess it depends whether or not you're Vex Ruby outside of this particular room, but obviously not to give too much away. But what do you do outside of this, as just to switch off and to get back to normal life, as it were?
Oh, so I am actually going for a LMFT certification, so I'd be a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Wow.
I'm going through the internship process with that right now. But my eventual goal is to, once I get that baseline graduate mental health degree that you have to have in order to continue with this process, I would like to be certified by ASECT, which is the American Association of Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. And that is my eventual goal. I would like to open up my own practice as a sex therapist. And in particular, I would like to cater to the LGBTQ community, the poly community, the kink community, and sex workers.
That is fantastic. That's so inspiring. That's so fantastic.
Thank you.
Who is somebody in the Lewdtuber scene that you look up to, or some friends that you would like to shout out?
Miss Ella, for sure. Like, she has been a pioneer in the VR space. I think it was 2014 that she did her first VR shoot. And she was actually given an XBiz award for being the first person to do anything in VR as far as cam work goes. So she has been an invaluable resource for me, both not only as a professional, but just as a friend, being there to help me learn how to navigate all the craziness that comes with being an adult performer.
Is there some advice that you would give to an aspiring Lewdtuber?
Ooh. Trying to pick the more important ones from the whole laundry list there. This is gonna sound really, really cliche, but be yourself.
Try not to be... Do you mean like not to be a character?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can be a character, but like just be honest about that. There's no need to pander to a specific community, any specific people. The people that like you for you will keep gravitating towards you, and it creates a more authentic community.
Okay.
Like, that's one of my proudest accomplishments as a performer, is that it's not just a fan base that I have, it's a community.
No, I can understand that. I think that's probably the most solid advice I think you could give to anybody that's becoming an aspiring Lewdtuber. I don't think that's necessarily cliche.
Oh, thank you.
You did mention
And have
before,
fun with it.
and well, yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, and then you never work a day in your life, as they say.
Yeah, don't take it too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. If something fucks up in the middle of the stream, make a joke out of it.
That is a question. Do you ever lock into a T-pose?
Oh, absolutely. I have learned to master the art of the Tpose dance to make sure, like, or like, say my hand screws up, I'll just kind of like randomly hide it behind my back to hide the markers and reset it.
Okay.
Or like, say I notice my neck is off, I'll just kind of go like, oh my gosh, and hide the markers. Just
Okay.
little sneaky things like that. Or if something just blatantly breaks down, again, make up a big silly story about it. Like, for example, we have a plastic Halloween skeleton around here that we use for mocap, just as reference to where, like, maybe where a player or an observer would be. And it's named Betty, after Dr. Tofu's skeleton in Ramda 1/2. Every time something goes wrong, it's a running joke in my community that we blame Betty.
That's fantastic. You were saying before about some things that obviously with Viro for future updates and such, but is there any more plans for your model for changes, costumes, upgrades, anything in the future?
Halloween is coming up, the best time of the year. I am so excited. There are going to be multiple new costumes from that. Traditionally, though, we kind of use the costume reveals as kind of part of my show. The devs and my audience both love to see me surprised when we unveil something new like that. So most of the time, unless it's, not possible to incorporate something beforehand without me knowing, we kind of make a point of surprising me along with everybody else.
Oh, that's so adorable that they would do that for you, like gifts. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So,
There's
like, do
actually
you plan stuff for Christmas as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have a whole like snow scene and outfit for Christmas that we made last year. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's so cool. So obviously we're going to be seeing something in terms for Halloween then.
Yes.
Before we end this interview / podcast, I want to give you the floor to promote not only your social medias, but Viro and any future projects you may be working on.
Thank you so much. So, socials. All right, right over here, we've got my Twitter handle. That is like the best place to keep a hold of me, because that's where my camming schedule is posted, right at the very tippity top of my feed. And also my link tree is on there. So that has all of the links to all of my socials, including my totally doesn't rhyme with lonely pants and my totally doesn't rhyme with dickcock. And there is my website right there that has the link to all of the Viro stuff. Viro Playspace, speaking of which, check it out. We will be releasing... Just a sec. We're going to fix my skirt right quick. Sorry, I tend to be a little bit more comfortable without the skirt, apparently. Right. So, new Viro Dream is coming out, oh gosh, if not by the end of this week, the next week, featuring both me and the lovely Viros. The first experience that we've had that has two people in the same room in mocap, so yay! That'll be super cool. I'm also going to start doing private streams for the Viro Patreon people pretty soon. So be sure to check out our Patreon and you can be a part of those. Those are exclusive streams. So yay, come join us. And keep an eye out for the Lewdtuber stuff that we're going to be putting out. I can't give a lot of details about that exactly because there's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo that we're still working out with that. But I cannot wait to offer those things and have this whole method of performing available to more people.
I'm honestly, I'm excited to see more people use it because seeing the way that you use it today has just opened my eyes for what could be the future for sure.
Thank you so much. The devs are amazing at what they do.
And to everybody who is listening and watching, obviously I'll put the links on the screen. They will be in the description and also in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, Vex.
My pleasure. Mwah.
And to everybody, thank you so much for watching. Good night.